Let's go. Yeah. Yo. Hey. Hey. सारी दुनिया को रोज रोज नींद से जगाने वाली, लेट नाइट वालों के साथ रातें बिताने वाली, वो इतनी हॉट है कि हाथ में ना आने वाली. Hold up, wait a minute, I'm talking about a चाय की प्याली. दिल्ली की सर्दी हो या साउथ की हो हीट वेव, बैठे चार यार तो फिर ग्लास होना खाली है. टिप टिप बारिश में भी आग जो लगा दे, अक्षय को जो नचा दे, चाय ही वो भीगी साड़ी है. मैगी की BFF समोसे की ये बहन लगती, पोहा करके फ्रेंड जोन देती फ्लाइंग किसेस. 5 बजे को होगी धासु स्नैक्स पार्टी, बट इट्स स्ट्रिक्टली BYOB, ब्रिंग योर ओन बिस्किट्स. एक बार मम्मी ने चाय पे बुलाया था, मतलब शादी पक्की चीजें ग्रेट होने वाली है, पर चाय साली अपनी आधी घर वाली है. चाइना से थी गोरों के दहेज में वो आई है. क्या? चाइना?
Let's spill the tea. Tea in India is the legacy of Britishers, but has its origins in China. The first ever recorded entry of tea is in a medical text in the 3rd century AD. Originally used as a medicinal herb, it later became popular as a recreational beverage during the Tang dynasty. In India, the early Ayurvedic texts mention some curative leaves to make kadha, the legendary grandmom's fix for a bad cold, and pretty much everything else. But there's no exact mention of tea. Finally, it was the Brits' anxiety issues that led to tea being grown in India. In the 1800s, tea was exclusively grown by our neighbor, China. The Brits, who loved tea, had to trade in silver for it because the snooty Chinese didn't want made-in-England goods in return. So the devious Brits started supplying opium, grown in India, to China. Soon, China had a drug problem. In trying to curb the opium trade, China and Britain ended up in the terrible Opium Wars. At the end of the war, the Brits won free trade rights and started trying to grow Chinese tea in India as backup. Enter the era of booming growth in tea plantations across India. By 1888, Indian tea exports into Britain were over 86 million pounds, exceeding China's 80 million pounds. So while chai tea is the new millennial hip term, which came first? Hindi chai or English tea? Surprise, surprise, both words come from the Chinese language. While parts of China called tea tu, te, in Mandarin, it was called cha. The Dutch introduced Europe to the word tea, whereas chai came from the Hong Kong and Macau ports, where the Portuguese traded in tea. Till almost 1940, while tea was the top forex earner, it wasn't popular with Indians themselves. Nationalist Indians were opposed to it due to unfair labor practices. Even the most popular influencer of that time was anti-tea. Mahatma Gandhi gave tea a lot of negative PR in 1942, comparing it to other intoxicants like tobacco and alcohol. Finally, India becoming a nation of tea drinkers was the result of successful marketing. Brits created a whole propaganda unit for tea PR. To promote tea, it was launched at the most crowded consumer touchpoint, the Indian Railways. So the elitist porcelain cups gave way to the iconic terracotta kullars. Even the tea ads of the time highlighted the pros of tea along with instructions on how to make it. Pre-independence, Rookborn cards would go around offering to make tea free of cost with purchase of milk. Eventually, the invention of the CTC method made tea cheaper, and chai became the national go-to beverage. From Mumbai's cutting chai, the rich Irani chai of Hyderabad, the fragrant Darjeeling chai, the mellow Assam chai, the strong masala chai of Gujarat, to the pink Kashmiri chai.
राइट और लेफ्ट की लड़ाई छोड़ बेटे, चाय देसी हो या नहीं सिर्फ कड़क होनी चाहिए. दूध ज्यादा डाल या फिर ब्लैक ही बना ले, चाय चाय ही रहेगी, बस वो गर्म होनी चाहिए. और एक तो अगर किसी ने मेन्यू में चाय टी लाते लिख दिया ना, सच बता रहा हूँ थप्पड़ स्लैप मार दूंगा.